Hi everyone, I'm Kathy from houseoftofl.com. Today we're going to talk about the top 5 mistakes that students make in the speaking that they can avoid in order to get a better score. This is based on my teaching experience and things that I frequently correct with students. Today's lesson will be very general. Therefore, I recommend that you look in the links below in the description where I will link to much more detailed articles about what I'm going to go over today. So let's begin. First, students often use need and require incorrectly. Note that in English, when we're speaking, we use need to talk about human beings and animals or objects we've personified. So human beings and animals, that's easy, right? My dog needs water. My daughter needs a sandwich. However, when I say objects we've personified, what do I mean by that? What I mean is objects that we consider that they're doing something. They're doing some work or some activity for us. That's why it's very common for you to hear someone say, my car needs an oil change, or my dishwasher needs soap, or my computer needs a new hard drive. These are objects that we have personified in our language. Now, require is used when something is completely non-personified. So you might hear someone say, this meeting requires 30 minutes of your time. This job requires very good computer skills. Those are completely not personified. So learn the difference between need and require, and again, I'll link that below. Second, the thing that students do when they're talking about activities is they add the word to, which is incorrect. For instance, many of my students say, I'm going to hiking, I'm going to swimming. You should eliminate the word to and just say, I'm going swimming or I'm going hiking, I'm going walking, I'm going running, etc. You're not going to a location, you're going to do an activity. Therefore, please eliminate the word to. The next mistake students make is make and do. These are used differently and you should know the difference between make and do. Now, we use do to talk about jobs or tasks or work. For example, I'm doing my homework, I'm doing the dishes. We use make when there will be a product at the end. Like, I'm making lunch. He makes good money. I'm making a card for my mother. So there will be something at the end. But the biggest mistake I hear is with mistake and research. So we make mistakes, we do research, okay? Please remember that. So yesterday I made a mistake. Be quiet, I'm doing research. Okay, so please remember that make mistakes, do research. Now, articles you probably know are a and the. But here I wanted to talk about specifically related to education. Because many of my students say, I went to the college in Egypt, which is incorrect. We actually use no article when we're talking about going to an educational institution to get an education. So you should just say, I went to college in Egypt, or I went to university in Egypt. You should say, my daughter goes to school, because she's going to get an education. When we use the, we're talking about the building itself. We're not talking about the concept of an education. For example, I might say, I'm going to the school for a meeting, because I'm not going as a student. I'm not going to get an education, I'm just going for a meeting. Or I'm going to the college to pick up my daughter. So again, I'm not going as a student, I'm going to the buildings to pick up my daughter. So here's some correct sentences. My daughter goes to school. My son is in college. I went to university in Jordan. She goes to college in Canada. Okay? Next, I went to the college to pick up my son. The college on the corner is just being built now. I really like the college in downtown LA. Okay, so that's the difference. Okay, I've actually made a video about this, but I just wanted to remind you one more time because it's the most common thing I hear. I won't talk about this too much, but subject-verb agreements in speaking are very common. Please remember you have to say the S sound at the end when the subject is singular, okay? So, my daughter goes to school. My son likes this band with the integrated. The professor says. The professor agrees. The student doesn't support. The woman doesn't like. Okay, so you can see my other video about that one because I made quite a long video about it. Okay, again, I'm going to put links below that will go much more in depth on these subjects. This is just a very general top 5 that I put together. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm making new content all the time. I'm Kathy from www.houseoftofl.com, and you can also visit my website to see all my other resources. And as always, good luck on your TOEFL test.